My name is Emily Dietrichson. Welcome to the Voxwomen Cycling Show.
Welcome back to the 2017 season of the Voxwomen Cycling Show. Lots has been happening over the off-season, with all the teams getting ready for a new year back on the road. This month we'll bring you up to date with the preparations going on for the year ahead, as well as a look at some of the early season racing. First up, we head to Spain to spend some time with Cylance at their winter training camp. With new faces to welcome, a tour down under to prepare for, and the Women's World Tour on the horizon, Cylance Pro Cycling are out here in Spain training hard for the long road ahead. And this year, they want victories.
So this is Cylance Pro Cycling's second team camp already to start the 2017. Our first team camp was more about meeting the sponsors and some team building exercises off the bike. This camp's going to be all about really getting a lot of miles together, learning more about the team, and getting ready for our first race of the season, Tour Down Under. I think throughout the camp it's really about working together, riding a lot, suffering a little bit together, because in those moments you really can learn about each other and also just find out how to have success this year. So we have a team full of different types of riders from so many different countries. We have 7 different countries on the team, so blending cultures, personalities, skills on and off the bike, and suffering and working together. Well, today's going to be a pretty big ride, but some of us are a little jet lagged, so hopefully some of those other girls take it easy on us. But just kind of get on our bikes, make sure the equipment's working properly, and then towards the end of the week as we ramp up the intensity in miles and really getting ready for the Tour Down Under, and of course launching 2017. Well, our director sportif is fabulous, Manella Combra, and he's pretty much the boss, so he'll tell us what to do, and every once in a while try to sprint or outclimb us, but that doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have a very good group of girls with the character that they fit with each other, and of course you need to look to have a good climbers, good people for the sprinting, then the people that will help the climbers to go to the climb, the lead outs for the sprints, and I think we build a very nice team. And I take Connect already very good. We are having here some trainings, we make some tests, and I think will be very good.
Yeah, it's a really supportive environment and always positive, optimistic, and pushing us, but supporting us in the process. I think the people, they're all really good people, and that's a big reason that you were chosen for this team, and that goes along with the staff too.
Okay, girls, second day of the camp. Again, we will do 4 hours lap, around 120, 125 Ks, do some sprints, some lead outs, and nothing, do like you did yesterday, enjoy, get fun, and full gas. For 2017, we are hoping to have some wins, and that our young riders continue with the progression that we have from last year. And of course, last year was our first year with the team, and we wanted to make a good base for the next years because this is a long-term project. Last year we wanted to do the complete world tour, and we did. But we had some injuries, some crashes, and we were a little unlucky with that. But I think in the final we were active, we were present in all the races, we were trying to win. But for next year, with all the good signings that we have, with all the new riders, I think we will be a competitive team, and we are hoping for have wins too.
So with fresh kit, brand new signings, and a week of heavy training in Spain under their belts, Cylance are ready for 2017. While we were there, we took the opportunity to chat to Cylance's new addition, Dutch sprinter Kirsten Wield.
How did I get into cycling? Well, in Holland everybody has a bike, so that's the first start, of course. I think I got a bike when I was maybe 2 years old, I don't remember. First with 3 wheels, then with, of course, then step by step to a normal bike. But my father always had a race bike hanging in the wall in the garage. And I was really excited about that bike, and I really wanted to use the race bike. I like to race and go faster and like competition. So, and then, yeah, I finally was allowed to get a race bike. I bought it for my own money, and my brother was racing, and then, yeah, I started racing actually. So I started quite late. I started when I was 18 with my first real race. But then I was infected and I started racing. My first race was actually the Amsterdam Gold race. In those days it was still a women's race. So it didn't last really long, my race, maybe 6 kilometers. And then I was dropped, but I really liked it. And then I really started training, racing, everything. After this spectacular start, I never expected that I could be on this level. I just really liked it, and I even liked it when I got dropped. I just liked it to be in the game, play the game and cycling. But then at a certain point you realize that you have some talent and you met the good people and they help you, and you start getting in UCI teams, and they help me to reach my maximum potential. And I think, yeah, at that point there's no way back, and you start training more and racing more, and you start winning. Well, I've learned to always follow your dreams, and I think when you have a dream sometimes you have to give up some other things or leave a team or just go to another team or follow people to follow your dream. But I think the most important thing is always to have fun and enjoy what you're doing. As a sprinter you always feel pressure that you have to win, because there are not many chances, and if the chance is there you have to take it, and that's like in split seconds and moments and decisions, and all the chances happening or it's just gone. So yeah, that makes it feel pressure, and the pressure always also comes if a whole team is working for you and you feel that they're all dedicated to their job and focusing on you, and then you have to do it. Yeah, being second in Qatar on the World Championship was one of my biggest disappointment moments, I think, in my life. Yeah, of course in the Dutch squad there are some more silver medals, so the girls are already a bit used to it. So they told me directly, yeah, we know how you feel, and that felt good, but it was such a big chance, and it's so cool if you win. So yeah, that makes the disappointment really big, I think. For 2017, I hope, of course, to have a nice year with a good atmosphere in the team, but I think that will be all right because the girls at Cylance are so nice. But I hope to win, for myself, I hope to win a World Tour race. And I hope with the team we could win some more World Tour races. I think we have a lot of abilities and strong girls, so I think that will be work out. The transition between road and track is always a bit complicated because it's quite a full program, because the road is the whole summer. Then you have to track the whole winter. That makes it a bit complicated, but I have a really good trainer who helps me with the balance, and we try always to make the ideal program, and then we go with this program to the teams. In this case I went to Cylance Pro Cycling, and then they look to to my ID, and then we make like a good program. So I think it's always important to have balance between that you have some rest periods, but so far it always worked out. If I'm doing track, I always say, oh, I really like track. And then I'm a few weeks on the road, I think, oh, I really like road, so I can't decide.
Last year, we followed the opening rounds of the first ever Women's Track Champions League at Revolution. Over the winter, the series concluded with the final 2 rounds in Manchester and London. Round 4 in Manchester saw Nia Evans continue her dominant performance, winning the Omnium against tough competition and strengthening Podium Ambition's lead in the overall standings. The final round in London saw Olympic champion Laura Kenny make her comeback to the Revolution Omnium.
So if there's one rider here at Revolution that all eyes are beaming down on, it is Laura Kenny, now Kenny of course, making your comeback onto the track. How's it been out there for you?
Tough, I'm not going to lie. I never expected to have form. It's only my 5th time back on the track since the Olympics, which I know some people will be like, well, why did you have so much time off? Well, I got married and then obviously I went on honeymoon, and I've just been living a life of sort of, I guess, a normal person, as much as I hate kind of saying that. But like, in an Olympic season, it's so stressful and it's so intense for such a long period of time, and after London I didn't have a break. I just went straight back into it. So this time I was like, I'm going to do it properly. But then when Phil West asked me to ride it, I couldn't say no. Like, for me, Revolutions are kind of where it all began. It was the first time, like, as a kid, because obviously I did the Future Stars. It was the first time you got to race in front of a home crowd. And honestly, it was incredible. Like, because obviously the youth races never get a crowd. So to be able to kind of race in front of a home crowd was always like a thrill, I guess. So to come back, I guess, in front of, again, a home crowd on the London Velodrome, where it all began for me, it's honestly been great. So I'm not even really bothered about how I'm riding. I'm just enjoying it. Like, the crowd cheer me anyway. It's like, win or lose. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
But even Kenny couldn't shake Evans, who went on to win the Omnium again, sealing the deal for podium ambition in the championship. The Voxwomen team placed second, Great Britain in third.
Oh, it's amazing. In Britain, Revolution means so much, so to win it is just fantastic.
Hi, I'm Dame Sarah Storey and I'm here to share my 5 top tips on surviving multi-event racing across the major championships. As a rider that races both track and road events across 9 days at the Paralympic Games, my first tip is about making sure you plan specific training for each of those events. From 3,000 metres and 500 metres on the track to the road time trial and road race on the road, you need to make sure you do something specific for each of those events across the course of the week. My second tip is about how to structure your training week. If you're doing several different events, you need to make sure that you section your week out so that you're working on those different energy systems across the course of the week. The training on each day needs to complement each other, so you're not trying to confuse your body too much. For example, I would do sprint work on a Monday and Tuesday, threshold work on a Wednesday, I'd have a rest day on a Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday and Sunday I'd work on the road events. With multi-event racing, you also need to prepare your body with the right fueling strategy. Within the training week, you need to make sure that you're preparing your body with the right fuel for the day ahead. You also need to make sure you plan your recovery as well. With the track events, you'll need a little bit less energy, but you'll be producing more power, so you'll need some more protein. And with the road events, you need to make sure that you're fueled properly for the length of the event. A fourth tip is for the actual competition, and that's about taking each race as it comes. Make sure you focus on the next race and not the one after that. It's quite a simple strategy, but it means that you're looking at everything in isolation. Once you've got one race out the way, then you can focus mentally and physically on the next one. And finally, preparation is everything. If you get the 4 things above right, then everything should go all right on the day or the days. For me in Rio, I raced across 9 days with the 3,000 metres on day 1 and the road race on day 9. There's nothing more exciting than having mission accomplished when you get to the end of those championships. Good luck!
Join us after the break when we'll bring you a taste of the action at the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Women's Road Race.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Barker. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back after the break.
Now in its 3rd year, the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road Race tackles the 113.3 kilometre route from Geelong in Victoria along the beautiful coastline, past Evans's hometown of Barwon Heads, along the famous surf spots at Bells Beach, before heading back to a waterfront finish at Geelong. 88 riders started, with lots of the UCI teams represented, including Orica Scott, Wiggle High Five, Canyon Shram, LA Cipollini, Drops and Cylance, all keen to make the most of the chance to race in the warm weather early in the road season. Following on from her success at the Santos Women's Tour Down Under, Amanda Spratt was a firm favourite, and Orica Scott had a strong presence in the early stages of the race. And racing was aggressive from the start, marked by lots of attacks and punishing crosswinds. Orica Scott's Van Vleuten was involved early on in the attacks, doing her duty as domestique for her teammates. The peloton split into 3 distinct groups, the front group consisting of around 30 riders. From this group, Van Vleuten contested the 2 intermediate sprints, losing out to Ale Cipollini's Romy Kasper in the first. At the second sprint, Van Vleuten had the edge and took the points. With constant attacks, the peloton regrouped and a new group of 20 emerged. From this, Emma Pooley, guest riding for Holden Women's Cycling, broke away, building up a gap of 20 seconds. Van Vleuten chased with Ale Cipollini's Yannicka Ensing and Lucy Kennedy of High Five Dream Team. As the chasers made progress, Ensing suffered a frustrating mechanical, dropping from the group. Mayuko Hagiwara of Wiggle High Five and Ruth Winder of United Healthcare made it across to join the chasers, forming a group of 4. With just 3 kilometres to go, the 4 caught Pooley. Winder was the first to sprint, but despite the early domestique work, Van Vleuten still had the strength to pass her to take first. Winder took second place, followed by Hagiwara in third. Ever wondered what it takes to be a director sportif? To lead a team to victory, to deliver the killer tactic, or to deal with the aftermath of a crash or a defeat? Well, we're here at the UCI World Cycling Centre to find out.
Okay, I've been working with the Colombian Cycling Federation for 4 years. I started working like an outsourcing in communications, but I fell in love with the cycling world. I fell in love with Colombian cycling, and I've been like improving, and I've been getting more tasks in the federation. So in July this year, I just read in the webpage of the UCI that there was a scholarship for women for the sport director course, and I was like, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to do that.
I get an invitation from the Boels Dolmans team, and I coach some individual athletes. So in the future I want to be a coach for a whole team, like with talents. So I think it's really good opportunity to get more women in women's cycling.
At the moment we're learning about the tasks of the sport director, so how to organize the year, how to enroll for the races. We learned already the rules about that last week, but now we're more learning about how to really put it into practice.
As a former rider, how much have you learned over the past week?
Yeah, about the rules and the regulations, I've learned a lot, and it's also quite interesting. And yeah, so I learned a lot of things. I think this is a pretty good course for which actually maybe all sport directors should do.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely vital that the role of a sport manager. They're really important people, and it's very important that we have more women carrying out those roles, not just for women's team, but perhaps for some men's team as well. I think at the moment there's only Rachel Heel is the only woman who is a female director of a men's team, but there's certainly room for expansion in that direction as far as I'm concerned.
They've been working hard to prepare for the last 6 days. Tomorrow is the big exam.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I had a good night's sleep, which was fantastic, and I basically just want to get it over and done with at the moment. So yeah, I think it's sort of been compounding stresses over the last 6-7 days. So yeah, it'll be good.
So, final day of the Director Sportif course here at the World Cycling Centre in Switzerland. We're not actually allowed in there. There is currently the exam going on. The last 6 days of intense work here at the UCI comes down to a couple of hours in there. Kim, how was the exam?
Oh wow, the exam was challenging, I suppose, but it contained everything that we had learnt over the weeks, so pretty confident that we've all passed.
It's been a fascinating few days here at the UCI World Cycling Centre in Switzerland. We've had a unique insight into what it takes to be a director sportif and how hard they have to work to manage a team. If the attitudes of the amazing women we've met here are anything to go by, the future of both men's and women's cycling is in very safe hands indeed. After meeting some of the future sports directors at the UCI, we thought we'd hear from one DS about his role in managing a world-class team. So we went to the Boels Dolmans 2017 launch to find out more about Director Sportif Danny Stam, in his own words and in the words of his team.
I think this team, the thing that's really special about it is there's respect among the riders. We respect each other's talents and abilities, and when you come from a place of respect, there's a natural cohesion, and there's it allows each other to bolster the strengths, and you see that play out at the dinner table or on the bike, and that's how we play the game of cycling. It's an atmosphere that's, I think, really Danny has started that as our team leader, and then it's natural for all of us to follow in line and follow that role model of these are each person's strengths and weaknesses, and here's another person who complements that, and I think we have this really nice balance in the team.
Well, I think he obviously has the last word. He's the one building the team. He's the one choosing the riders, and I think he has a really good talent of mixing the good team, from having the leaders, the workers, and actually no one is complaining about his decisions because we all know that it's the right decision. And if it's not, then he's the first one to say, "Sorry, girls, that was not the right decision." But I think till now he almost did only good choices, and the results show that. He's the good man on the team.
You have to look which rider fits in it and which rider don't fit in it. And I mean, it's easy to say, okay, we keep all the strongest riders and we put them together. But I think the most important is that they can work together, and that makes them strong. I mean, if you see the team, how it grows from the last years, it's actually not that we just buy the strongest riders. It's they all develop themselves, and from that on, they get a real strong team. When I was a rider by myself, I never liked it when there was somebody who was really authoritarian above it, and I think they respect myself from where the point is, and they never cross that. But on the other side, it's also everything is possible if you just communicate.
I think being like a successful rider himself is really important because he understands like what we put into it, and his tactics I think are always, we always trust what he's saying 100%. He can be very direct, very Dutch about things, but I think that works well with us.
Hi, I'm Amy Cure, and thanks for watching the Voxwomen Cycling Show.
The new year is off to a great start, and we will have much more to come over the following months. Join us next month as the Women's World Tour gets started, and we find out who will thrive in the cold, the cobbles, and the fierce competition of the 2017 Spring Classic.